Emma, how was the podcast, James? I don't know. We both felt unconscious again.
Can never get this right. I can get him in there, but then I can't get in there. So I just stare at him through the little window in the door. There he is.
Oh,
How you doing, buddy?
not bad, dude. I got home at like 8:15.
Did you get home late? Jeez.
Yeah.
You gotta stop working so much.
I know. Jobs.
Gotta be a bum like me now.
Who needs those?
We got Fridays off now starting this week, so I gotta work a whole 10 hours, 4 days a week.
You know how many hours I clocked out with today?
Well, whose fault is that?
Space shuttle.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? How many
65
hours?
and a half.
Jeez, you're a loser.
Yeah.
Those are not sad tears, ladies and gentlemen.
Laughing to hide real pain. Swear to God. I can't wait to see Deadpool 3.
You're laughing like the Joker. Jeez. All right, what about Deadpool 3? You know, I'm so worried about that.
I'm not.
Like, I don't really want to get into Marvel and everything again because we fucking just beat that dead horse so often. But I am so, like, talk about battered wife syndrome.
I'm not, because it was like 2 or 3 separate occasions where Ryan Reynolds almost walked off and said, "I'm done."
I did hear
you
that.
You can't keep doing this.
But I still, like, it's Disney.
Yeah, but it's Ryan's baby.
It's Disney, though. And I just...
But here's the thing. Yes.
I hope
it's
so.
It's Disney, quote unquote, because they own Fox. But it's Fox. So even if it's not Disney brand, it's a Fox's issue.
Now, when they purchased Fox, did they just buy the name and they still Fox is running itself?
Yes.
Just under... Because that's the one thing I'm like, okay, so does Disney own this like they own Industrial Light and Magic and LucasArts and Marvel, like where Disney owns it and pretty much has their tentacles are in it? Or is this like we bought Fox, now we get pretty much most of whatever income is incorporated in like the giant machine that we are?
Yeah, for the most part. For the most part.
You realize that we can have Predator at the fucking Disney parks now? Not that kind of Predator.
Oh, you
not from that.
I see one kitty toucher in there. I'm throwing an alien right at him. An illegal alien.
Oh, geez. They're all down there. I'm
AVP.
Sure. We're going to get a fucking sequel finally. Another one. What's this going to be called? This is going to be called AVP. Let's see. The last one was Requiem. That was a disaster. That was too dark.
AVP penetration.
Oh, jeez.
Or maybe that's DVP. Double veg.
Jeez. What the fuck just happened?
Oh, wait. He already said welcome back, folks. Let's start the show.
Jeez. Where the hell? Oh, yeah. So,
welcome to the railroad that is my life.
Maybe.
Detour.
Jeez, gas.
No, but seriously, terrible. Back to the Deadpool thing. Like, that's the best part about Deadpool 1 and 2. And I'm actually looking forward to Deadpool 3.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm just
there's
worried.
So many quotable things.
Well, this is from trailers.
Well, no, just even the main movie. Like Deadpool 1.
Deadpool 3? Oh, you're talking about all of them.
All of them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know how many times like people are like, yeah, I almost died. I'm like, I wish I would die. What are you there for? Joke's on you. I'm going to live to 102 and then die like the city of Detroit.
Yeah.
So the other day, we were waiting for a bunch of the drivers were in the break room talking about just random shit. We were.
Whoa! You just had a fucking Biden moment there. Holy shit! Go on.
We'll get to that in a minute.
We will.
So, they were just talking about random shit, the debate coming up, et cetera, et cetera. You know, this and that, et cetera. You know, all the random shit. And somehow, some way, some conspiracy theory talk got going. All that led down a rabbit hole of what the government has, what the government does, what the government knows, et cetera, et cetera.
Like a broad scale or specific?
Well, it started out with, like, they were talking about the debate. On the conspiracy. Like, someone's like, oh, yeah, I hear he's going to be all hopped up on, like, drugs to be, like, super attentive.
That's what I thought. But, well, yeah.
So, someone's like, oh, yeah, I heard that theory. And that guy's like, oh, you talk about some crazy theories. Like, you know why they won't let RFK, or what's Kennedy's real name?
Yeah, RFK Jr.
RFK Jr. You know why they won't let RFK Jr. become president? Because then he can unseal the documents about his dad, and he's going to end up dead, too.
Well, yes and no. Plus, he didn't qualify in enough states to. But yeah, anyway.
So somehow, some way, that came up to.
I think that came up under Trump's presidency, and they had to they resealed it again for X amount of time or something. I don't know.
Shit.
What?
Hold on.
Oh, jeez. Did you forget where you are? Holy shit.
Oh, I remember.
The Biden brain is fucking real.
I remember.
Dude, were you there? Did you catch whatever cold he evidently had?
7-day cold? Yeah, okay.
7 days, no, more like fucking 3.5 years.
I remember where I was going with this. So they were talking about, the Biden getting juiced up, and then people were talking about the movie Limitless with...
Right, what about Limitless?
What's the guy's name?
I don't know.
He played in Hangover.
Zach Galifianakis?
No. The more
direct and like aggressive.
He played in the A-Team. The new version.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't watch the A-Team.
Oh, God,
or the new one.
Whatever. He's a good-looking actor.
Old no name.
I guess Limitless was this movie about this super drug where he took it and it souped him up, whatever. Then he got off, whatever. So I was like, someone's talking about there's all kinds of crazy medicine out there. And I'm like, yeah. In fact, there's the cure.
Aspirin.
I go, oh yeah, there's all kinds of cures for all kind of random things. As a matter of fact, you guys might find it hard to believe, but there's also the cure for blindness and about 100 grams of cocaine buried here somewhere. Good luck finding it. And I walked away. The part in Deadpool 1 where he goes, oh, just so you know, there's the cure for blindness and a kilo of coke buried in the floor. Have fun trying to find it. And he walks away. Back to the original point. The movies are just so quotable.
Yeah, there are a lot of one-liners in them.
And they work so well in your day-to-day. Like the laughing to hide real pain.
Most movies are real quotable and just work in the everyday mundane life.
I don't know.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Most movies that I've seen are in my collection.
This coming from the guy who had like 15 Agenda Jameson's movies. Find me a quote where that fits into day-to-day life.
Oh.
My pipes aren't working. Yeah, you're right. I guess I can see how that fits.
Not many words were said during those movies. I like the old silent films where it's just a very little dialogue, maybe a sign. Yeah, and just a round of applause.
Yeah. And what was it? The old duck quack?
No, that was Howard Stern's show.
I'm sure that made a sound or two in the movies.
You know what really made me laugh when Howard Stern was funny? Was when they'd have an interview.
When he was.
Yeah, he's
woke.
He is. Every now and again, when someone had a conversation, just randomly, Fred in the background, womp.
Yes. Oh God, soundboard Fred. He was.
That still gets me to crack up.
Robin Quivers. What was Fred's last name?
Oh, jeez.
I mean, obviously Howard Stern.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah. I probably remember it at one time, but I don't remember. I don't know. So,
I mean, it's easy to forget things nowadays. Just look at our current president.
I don't know if it's forget or anyway. Did you watch it last night?
Yes.
Okay. I've watched it twice.
I watched it once and I kind of just
I
spectated. I didn't like try to think about what they were talking about.
Well, that's why I
tried to absorb. It was the post debate analysis.
Oh my God! All over the place.
I watched it right after on CNN.
So did I. Watched ABC and CNN. I watched the original, or I listened to it live last night.
Yeah.
And I listened to it like it was a fucking movie. Like, it was just entertainment to me. I was like, this is going to be fucking wild.
Oh, God, yeah.
So I listened. And so there were some points I'm like, that's a blatant lie. But most of it, I'm just like, this is fucking great. This is great. And then I rewatched it today. I'm like, all right, let's fact check some things and take some notes. So that's what I did today. I listened to it again, like, analyzing it. Oh, boy, did I find some things. But... Right off the bat, it was not what I thought it was going to be. Like, I knew going into this that Biden was going to be Biden. Like, I knew he was just going to do his thing, okay? Everybody, like, the Democratic Party has, for how long now, just blown smoke up all our asses that just... whatever political party you associate with, or none at all, whatever, if you just objectively look at it, you're like, he's not mentally, he's not there anymore. But they would call it cheap fakes. Any video you saw, it's like, oh, this is a cheap fake. They're just editing it, or just
so CNN edited their own footage while it was going on live.
They just edited it so it made Biden look bad, and they'd constantly tell us, it's like, oh, it's a deep fake. They just like splice something together and just cut some, you know. Or it was just a blatant lie. So
hold on, man. I didn't know the process. That's not it.
So
I love you, brother. I love you, brother.
Like you just eloquently said.
Sorry, I don't know why you started with or, and I'm like. It wasn't even. It was just for some reason the perfect timing. It's not how you said it.
And that is basically what watching part of this was like.
I don't know why it just made me think of a seal. And then I just pictured seals in the audience watching mine. My mind is tired. I'm sorry.
I'll get there. But watching this, like you just said, if that's the case, then CNN. The whole thing was a cheap fake. It's like, oh no, this thing was someone must have edited this whole video uncut and made him look bad from our own office.
We got it.
What was constantly said too is like, oh no, behind closed doors, he's very sharp and astute. And he speaks clearly.
Like Jon Stewart said.
Everyone.
Why aren't we filming that?
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's like, oh yeah, he's sharp. I was like, okay, so we're going to get exactly what they put out there. Now we're going to put everything to rest. So I thought, much like your buddies said, like the whole conspiracy thing is like, they're going to have him hop so fucking far up. It's going to look like Mr. Mackey. His head's going to be fucking this big and way up in the air. He's going to be so hopped up. And he wasn't. And I was dumbfounded. I'm like, whoa, they're just putting him out there.
So before you continue, because I got talking to one of the deliveries I made today about that. They're like, did you watch it? And he's a Democrat. And I'm like, yeah, I watched it. He goes, what'd you think? I'm like, it was entertaining to say the least. He goes, I wouldn't call it entertaining. It was kind of shaky. It was kind of nerve-rattling. And I'm like,
it was.
I go, what do you mean? He goes, I mean, yeah, they said he's been sick. He is an elderly gentleman. He's got a lot going against him, especially he's under a lot of pressure. He goes, but I don't know. That just didn't feel right. He goes, this is the person I voted for. This is the person who I want to vote for, but I'm not sure about anymore. And I'm like, well, far be it from me to try to swing you one way or the other. I'm indifferent to the parties. Whoever represents my ideals, whoever's doing the most productive, whoever's doing the better job, that's who I'm going to root for.
All right.
And I go, but at the end of the day, you got to make your decision based on what you know and what you see. You know, seeing is believing. He goes, yeah, I don't know. Like, he's going to have to pull something out. Like, he goes, I'm just surprised the Democratic Party was so, afterwards, they were so, he did a good job. He goes, I don't think so.
That was bizarre.
So I got thinking about it. And what did I say a while ago about the whole, are they 5 moves ahead? Are they doing this shit intentionally?
A lot of people have said that.
Because now...
That's one of the talking points for this.
One of the TikToks I saw today while I was waiting to get my freight loaded was apparently one of the head guys of a hedge fund or something like that, a hedge account, whatever, to donating money to the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Literally put out a statement about, I'm having the Bidens over for dinner, blah, 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 behind closed doors. They're talking about replacing him. Kamala Harris is furious because she's not even being considered.
Yeah, and that's...
It was a CNN... It was an ABC or CNN, MSNBC. I forgot what it was. No, it was Fox. It was a Fox News. And they're like, we're not saying we agree with them, but, that would be a smart move, Kamala, because even though she's the second most hated person...
No, all right, full stop. The only reason they say Kamala would be a smart move is because Fox is just as fucking biased as MSN.
Oh, absolutely.
But they know that the United States hate fucking Kamala Harris. So they're like, oh yeah, put Kamala in. It would make sense because they know, like, if anyone's going to lose worse than Biden, it's Kamala Harris.
Well, the thing the one girl said was, she might be a pretty formidable opponent.
No.
she'll get the female vote, she'll get the colored community vote.
No, she won't.
I was thinking to myself,
no, she won't.
No, she won't.
She might get...
But
no.
But this is where I was going with this. So let's say they did, and this is what I meant, like the whole 5 moves ahead.
All right.
What if the Democrats, we know he's going to bomb. In fact, we hope he bombs. Because we want to put Kamala in there, right? Hear me out. Yeah, but you got to remember, everybody hates Kamala. Trump will win. That's right. And he'll spend the next 4 years cleaning up all this presidency's mess and never get anything done. And then, boom, we got to dig a dagger in the heart against the Republican Party. Look what they did for 4 years. Nothing. And then we come in with our next candidate, someone we can groom, whatever, get ready and do 8 years of whatever we need him to do. Because this nation will be so shaken by the fact that it went through Biden and then Trump came in. He was going to make everything great again. The Republicans were all supportive of him. Republicans are going to take this country back to the top, and they did nothing.
That would be assuming that nothing was done, quickly. Nothing was solved quickly. I think.
But that's just it.
If Trump got in, he's one, like I said last week. I think he's a businessman, so he's privy to the mistakes he made prior. Oh, yeah. And last week I was referring to the debate, but also with his cabinet. He knew, or he knows now, that he chose some bad actors, a lot of bad actors in his administration last time around. Yeah. And I think he's very attuned to that this time.
Oh, absolutely.
So last time he put people in power that stifled a lot of moves he tried to make last time around. And even so, he did well. I can only speak for me. I've heard a lot of people say the same thing. I made a shit ton of money, extra money, because people had fucking stupid money during Trump's administration, during his presidency. That's when I was really kicking off of belts. I was making $1,000 extra a week added onto my job. Just doing belts. That's bullshit. And nobody needs fucking, championship belts and shit like that, leather work. But people were like, we had fucking extra money. Yeah. Extra fucking money. And I was just rolling buco bucks off it. And then he's out of office, and now everyone's 33% raise and groceries and everything else. Nobody has fucking stupid money now. The price of belts has gone way down. I mean, I was averaging $500 a pop, and now they're down to $300, $275.
And that covers the materials. That's it.
It covers materials. My profit maybe is $100, whereas before it was $300, maybe $400, depending on the belt.
You had some scratch.
Yeah. So But yeah, because we were playing Brawlhalla. I was like, oh yeah, I bought that $100 thing because it was fucking extra cash. So they was like, yeah, whatever. I'll just spend 10 hours and make another $400. That's literally what I was doing.
Yeah.
But yeah. So going along with whatever, going back, the debate. Like I said, he came out on stage and he was very low energy, very typical Biden. And then everyone's like, oh, he's got a cold. Okay, fine. He's got a cold. It was like watching the equivalent of, because Trump came out and he was on point. And what really surprised me about Trump is he was talking in straight lines. Well, there was no, you remember last time, now you listen to this whole thing, because you remember the last set of debates they had in 2020.
Yes.
It was fucking filibustering on both sides, talking over each other.
Both
there were no points made anywhere. That's why when Josh sent that text, he's like, oh, they're not talking about anything. I was like, are you listening to the same thing? Are you comparing this to the other one? Because that's not true. Trump was straight line shooting, and the questions he was answering questions, but the thing is he was rebuttaling what Biden was trailing off talking about, and then answering the question, the original question, which, credit to CNN, they would kind of like, all right, well, here's the thing, because Biden would go off of, like, they were talking, in one instance, for example, they were talking about abortion, but then Biden went off on immigration. That was a softball that he, and so Trump would rebuttal talking about immigration, but then CNN would be like, well, we're on Roe v. Wade, abortion, whatever. So it was like trying to answer two different things in Biden's mind. That's what Trump was trying to do. But Trump was talking straight lines. He wasn't taking jabs, minus like a 3-minute section toward the end of the debate. But no, he wasn't. There were no jabs like last time.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead. I'll let you finish. I'm sorry.
Okay. So there weren't personal jabs. He was rephrasing whatever questions and everything that Biden, or not questions, but statements that Biden was making. He was bringing up factual information. I did fact check some things I fact checked all things that both of them said. And Biden was all over the place. Like, not clear, which I kind of figured. But the fact that Trump wasn't doing what I thought Trump was going to do, because
everybody thought he was going to do. I know what you're going to say.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
When he went out, I'm like, okay, I expect Trump to do Trump things, like just kind of attack, like, because that's what he does. What I didn't expect was Biden to be just not on anything, just up there, low voice, stumbling around his words, doing his whole Biden thing. So the equivalent of this is like, watch, all right, two sports teams, take this one. You have one team come in, whatever sport you want to like interject here. One team come in that's hot, like winning games. Everyone's like a well-oiled machine, firing all pistons, like, or cylinders. Everyone's going. Against another team coming in that's just injury prone, everyone's cold, no one's hitting. You watch this, and as soon as they both come in, you're like, oh my God, this is going to be a massacre. And it is. That's like what this was. As soon as Trump went out there and he was calm, he wasn't like shouting over him, and he was just on point, I was like, this is not going to be good. Like in the first 5 minutes, like, this is going to be rough. And that's exactly what it was. And I'm like, this is way... I think people expected the no audience, because he feeds off audience, no audience and muted mic as being this. I was like, this is going to be a disadvantage for Trump, and it wasn't. No. It was not in the least. This is a huge disadvantage for Biden, if anything.
So maybe it's all about perception, because yes, I do know near the end when they kind of had that little.
Yeah, someone said
poking each other in the ribs kind of moment.
Someone put a video out. It's like they're talking about their golf swing. Yeah. They're like, "Well, look, this is what." I'm like, "This is a 3-minute fucking segment and a 90-minute debate." Like, so did you just watch TikTok for your thing? Because if you listen to the whole thing, it's like that wasn't it.
So
it was fucking stupid though.
Was he very charismatic? I think. I'd ask you to rewatch it.
I have twice.
Rewatch it a third time, but don't listen to Biden. Don't pay attention to Biden. Listen to Trump. and I'm not trying to trying to trash Trump, but, and I'm saying this in a very complimentary way, he was very discreet and very charismatic with his jabs, because throughout the whole 90 minutes, during some of his answers from start to finish, not every answer, there was little jabs, like rabbit punches, where the ref can, if the ref doesn't see it directly, you're going to get, boxing, there's that quick little rabbit jab. Ref doesn't see it, can't call a point. You can sit there and say, yo, he just did it, but the ref didn't see it, so you can't prove it.
You mean like when you say something like...
Best example I can give, right here, really quick. The abortion immigration.
Mm-hmm.
In Trump's response, he made the comment about, he's like, this is happening because the people the people that you let over.
Which is true.
That's a jab.
But it's true.
You're right. I'm not saying it's not.
See, I'm talking... Okay.
I'm not saying I'm not saying it's not... Yes, Biden not securing the border, leaving it open, allowed these people to come in. Everybody knows that.
No.
Everybody knows it. The majority...
Well, all right, yeah.
The majority knows it, but there's also a
most people don't accept it.
Exactly.
I wouldn't even say most people at this point. Judging by polls, it's not most people.
There's a demographic of people that won't accept it.
Right.
So...
But he's not up there trying to... Because
no.
Anyone knows, like, I'm not flipping their vote. It ain't happening.
I'm not saying Trump was trying to flip votes. I'm not saying Trump was trying to intentionally take digs. And that's what I mean by he was very charismatic about it. He was very suave about it. And I'm saying this in a complimentary manner. I'm not trying to dig on Trump.
No, I'm not saying you are.
I'm just saying the guy was very careful and very, very articulate with what he was saying and how he was saying it. Because if you go back and listen to everything Trump said from the start to the finish, don't pay attention to Biden, don't listen to the questions, listen to Trump talk. If you take what he says out of like just as a speech, it's like he's trying to like the Medicaid. He's like that you beat down. Like,
oh my God, yeah.
So yeah.
And I know all those, like, but here's the thing: is what I'm talking about again in comparison to 2020.
Oh,
like that was just mudslinging.
That was like Tyson in his prime versus fucking a baby.
No, it wasn't even last night. Yes, but it wasn't even that. It was like both sides. It was actually no, I can't even say both sides. A little bit Biden, but Trump was just mudslinging. And that is one of the huge reasons why he lost that election. Granted, yeah, 75 million and probably dead people or whatever voted. Who the fuck knows? But those debates did not make him look good, even amongst his own voter base.
Oh, God,
it's like, dude, what are you fucking... Like, this is not...
This debate, the first
this
debate,
one, but
he shined.
Yeah. He did, and like I said, he was straight lining. And he stayed on point, and I was shocked. And because of that, and the way Biden looked, I was like, this just makes him look even worse. But there was, like, I was wondering, it's like, is there going to be one of those you'd be in jail moments, like in 2016 with Hillary? And it's like, because you'd be in jail. It's like one of those, like, small one-liners, be like, oh. I don't know if you want to call it that, but it was in the middle of it when, I can't remember what he was referring to. But the rebuttal, Trump was like, I don't understand what he said at the end of that, but anyway, and he goes, look, and he just like drops it and goes, look, and just goes to make his point because Biden started to mumble one of his mumbling things at the end. Trump's like, I don't understand what he said the last sentence there, but look. And I'm like, oh, that was like one of those subtle things you were talking about. But again, it wasn't really a mudslinging thing because I couldn't fucking understand it. I'm like, oh, there it is. And then because Biden did it a couple times prior and Trump just ignored it. And I was like, these are fucking softballs, and Trump's just not swinging. I'm like, do I know who the fuck are you? Like,
well, it's like the little kid. I want to throw the kickball for the grown-ups league. Okay, kiddo. That's what Trump's like. I'm gonna let this one by. Strike one. Oh, the little kid. Yay! Yeah. I made this grown man miss.
And that's
good. Roll it again, kiddo. Strike two. I am the greatest. Okay, send the third one.
It was
boom. And now the kid's got a permanent indent in his forehead. Or, in Biden's case, a permanent shit in his pants, allegedly.
It was like, for a split second, I felt bad for him.
I didn't.
For Biden. Well, then I'm like, no, what? No, through all the shit that's, had gone down over the last really a year and a half specifically, I was like, no, hammer down.
I don't feel bad for him. I feel, should he take the blunt of it? No. I think his whole administration needs to be held accountable. Like Trump said last night, retribution. He's not going to personally attack anybody. His retribution will be succeeding.
Yeah. And that was he did that with an interview with Tim Pool, and he said it with Dr. Phil, with an interview with him. Because when he first said, retribution, I'm like, don't fucking do that. Because if you do that, I think there's going to be a group of independents, swing voters, whatever, even maybe Republicans be like,
yeah, but he won it.
That's just going to be sour.
He swung that right back in his favor.
But when he said retribution is going to be success, it's like, because I don't want him to get in a position and then go after like Biden and them. For some things, I'd be like, yeah, I'd like it, but like, fuck them. Like, this is your second term. You don't have to worry about getting reelected after. Get in office and do your shit and turn shit around. Like, fuck them.
Well, yeah.
Like, so when he said, like, oh, yeah, my retribution would be success, I'm like, oh, thank God.
And then Biden, of all people, like, what kind of president talks like that? Talking about retribution? Like, dude, when he said that, I'm like, dude, stop fucking talking. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, my God.
Hold on. He goes, never in all the presidents we've ever had has a president spoke like that. It's like,
he's the one that said, oh, you can't go after the government's rifles. You have to use F-14s or whatever the fuck. I'm like,
no. The point, you literally just fucking shot yourself in the foot. You can't vote for a president who speaks like that. The guy just said, my retribution will be success.
Right.
Making this country successful again. And now you're saying you can't vote. Don't vote for a president who wants that.
But if, like, beyond that, when he says, like, oh, you shouldn't vote for a president that wants retribution, or just goes after his opponent, which is exactly what they've been fucking doing with the whole trial and everything.
I thought about that, but what struck a chord more with me was the fact that he literally just said,
you don't want a successful nation? Fuck you guys.
That's literally what it's fucking screamed out to me.
It might have been to a whole bunch of people, too. But,
how could you not want this country to succeed? Oh my God! Please let us get into some fact checking, because there were just some things.
Well, these are points first before facts. But CNN tried to stop anyone from simultaneously streaming the this is more of a minor one, but the debate. Like, CNN's like, oh, we own rights. You can't. No one else can stream, but it's fair use. It's a fucking presidential debate. You have fair use. Yep. So everybody fucking I think they say they did it just in case, but part of me is like, that's might be like a thumb too in the side. Like Tim Pool, they streamed it on 3 platforms. Oh, they did it on YouTube, they did it on Rumble, and they did it on X. But yeah, everybody was streaming it. Oh, yeah. Everyone's reacting to it because it was huge. Like, I think the Democrats wanted to see Biden shine. Republicans just wanted to see, okay, here it is. Let's see what either crazy shit is going to happen like last time around, or like I was hoping, it's like we're going to see true Biden. And this is going to allow the rest of the United States, or really the rest of the world, to see, this is what I'm fucking talking about right here. And sure enough, not hopped up on anything.
And I think a bonus, the Republicans, they were afraid Trump was going to kind of go in guns blazing. But I think they were pleasantly surprised, like, okay, this guy definitely learned his lesson.
He was presidential.
Very presidential, yes.
Like,
holy shit.
He was like, what? He's acting like a president. I bet you the Democrats are like, what? Why isn't he talking over him? Why isn't he spitting at him?
This isn't the Trump we hoped for. This is going to hurt.
But again, like last week I said, I think Trump's a smart businessman.
Oh, yeah.
I guarantee you he like fucking an athlete watching tape. Where'd I fuck up? And he just like went over. It's like, what did I do wrong last time? And he's like, fix that. Don't do that. Do this. Do more of this. You know, whatever it is, even right down to posture.
Oh.
And he came out and shined.
Did you really quick? I want to ask you something. Did you catch the way they were referring to their ages near the end? I think is what it was.
Maybe.
No, about maybe like 25, 30 minutes from the end, they got discussed an age.
Mm-hmm.
They made a couple comments. You know, like Biden, you're 81 going into your next term. You know, they asked Trump, like, you know, Biden, or they asked Biden about being 81 or something like that. And they go, so former President Trump, like, you know, people sit there about the cognitive test. This is before the golf swing.
All right.
Okay. So
yeah, that's right. Because they brought up, it's like, you know, I got to be really smart. Got to be really smart. Got to be, yeah. All right.
You know, so they referred to the Biden like you're going to be going into your presidency at 81 years old or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how do you feel, you know, knowing that, you know, his cognitive ability has been brought into question? You know, when you finish your term, you'll be 82 years old. You notice they wouldn't say how old he was? They kept referring to his age when he would be done with his term.
Right. Oh, you mean... yeah, but...
I think it was... To me, I was like, that's kind of sleazy, CNN.
Maybe, but I think that's even worse. I mean, when you're done, you're going to be fucking 408 years old. Like, you're going to paint the picture of him being even older. So, I'm like, if that's the case, like, that's even a worse position. All right. And actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because not my unique theory, but I'm kind of leaning... I think they put him out there. They talked about how old he will be, just to add on to it. This is even older, which is what, 84, 85? Well, 86 if he's sworn in at the end of...
Biden.
Yeah. He'll be 86. You're talking about Trump.
Yeah, Trump.
Oh, okay. No.
Because they kept referring to Trump's age when he...
Yeah, and they wouldn't bring up... Yeah.
That he's 78, not 82.
Yeah, you'll be 82. It's like, no, Biden's going to be 82 next year.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, maybe. But I was going to say, because they did this, they putting Biden out there, not hopped up on anything, I think they want him out. And that is the reason, and I think we probably brought this up before when we were like, why are they having the debate so fucking early? Because usually the first debate is until like the end of August, early September.
And I made the comment because they want to see what they're going to be working with, and they'll have time to get him out.
Yeah, and
get someone else in.
I think they have until like July.
2024.
July 14th or 15th or something like that.
Yeah, mid-July.
To have their presidential nominee in there. And everyone says Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, I heard that.
But I've heard a lot of people, especially from California, be like, I'm not fucking voting for him. You know, his state. The one he governs. They're like, fuck no. Californians, he's ours. Don't vote for him. He's a fucking shithead.
It's like when the niece or nephew that's like 19 or 23 comes to the family barbecue. Hey, we invited your dad. Why did you invite Uncle Jerry? Do not invite Uncle Jerry. Why? Do you want to see kids cry?
Everyone.
Do you want to see little girls like tears, mascara? Do you want to see little boys putting on extra swimsuits? Why'd you invite Uncle Jerry?
Ah, jeez.
Sorry, Jerry.
That's
Any Jerry out there. It was just the name that popped off. I'm sorry.
That's Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe.
Oh, speaking of Uncle Joe, here's one that popped off. He slipped in there, and I didn't even catch it until I saw it on TikTok. He called Joe Brandon at one point, and not like by mistake. He's like, Brandon. I'm like,
oh yeah. I caught that. I was like,
I didn't catch it at first. I'm like, I started to laugh when I saw that. And I think that went right over Joe's head. Just like the last time it went over Joe's head. Remember that call there? It's like, no, let's go Brandon. And he's like, oh, yeah, let's go Brandon or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
During the Christmas couple
reiterated
years.
it. It's like, no.
I was like, boy, that was... Whoop. Oh, jeez.
See, they should have given him the chair. Let him sit down for a few minutes, kind of collect his thoughts.
They wouldn't let him sit down. They weren't allowed to have notes, but Joe had notes.
Yeah, I noticed
I saw that, yeah. I was like, Now wait a minute. Someone made a comment. They're like, it's 3 against 1, and Trump is still fucking mutilating everyone. Because it was like the 2 moderators and Joe. They would let Joe make a rebuttal statement, even when he wasn't like, because it was supposed to be topic, rebuttal, response, closing statement for like the different topics.
Yeah.
And during one of it, Joe had 3 fucking rebuttals. I'm like, wait a minute.
I told everybody that would happen.
Yeah, but everyone knew. It's like, oh, CNN's going to host it. I'm like, all right, so this is going to be... I thought it was going to be an uphill battle, but boy, it was... You remember that town hall that Trump did maybe a year or so ago, where it was for CNN, and he went out and just, like, murdered, and the crowd was actually, like, cheering Biden at a CNN town hall. And I think that might have been the one where he's like, I think that is the one where the moderator was like, who do you want to win the war between Ukraine?
Yeah.
And he goes, I just want people to stop dying. I'm like, that's a home run answer. And they're like, yeah, but who do you want to... They kept pushing the issue. I'm like, no, this isn't a winners losers thing. It was like that. Everyone is like, all right, we know what this is going to be. And then he goes out and just cruises right through it and be like, I didn't see that coming.
But that was also the same interview where she talked about the insurrection.
Yeah.
Quote unquote. And he's like, oh, it's okay. I brought the proof.
Yeah. They did the same thing with this, with the whole J6. And they're like, he brought up the whole Pelosi thing that just came out, a week or so ago.
Well,
couple weeks. He's like, yeah. He goes, I offered to send 10,000...
And Pelosi said...
military police
I'm responsible for this.
Yeah, and Pelosi... And this was said before. He said Pelosi didn't want it. And the mayor, governor of D.C. didn't want it. And then the video comes out, Pelosi to her daughter, which is, I guess, doing some documentary or something, a filmmaker. And it's clear as day. It's right there. It's like, no, that's my responsibility. And she said no.
Yeah. Well, here's something that this is what I meant. Like, I was hoping we were going to get to the fact checking real quick. And this is what, I really paid more. I paid attention. I watched the presidential debate, but I really hyper focused on the post debate analysis because I wanted to see. Because I'm not saying, obviously Joe, Sleepy Uncle Joe, Sleepy Joe Biden, whatever you want to call him, Uncle Sniffer. I wonder if that's why he sniffs people, because that's the last sense he has left. That still works. He can't touch, taste, or fucking see things very well anymore.
My sniffer's hypersensitive because nothing else works.
You know how blind people will feel your face because they can't see?
You're a little musty.
So, right out of the beginning, one of the CNN analyzers was talking about, and Trump making all these blatant lies about the January 6th, people being ushered in.
Dude.
What?
That was, the second time around, well, even the first time, but the second time around, there were so many instances, just from doing this show and from listening to other podcasts that bring up information. It's like, here you go, look it up yourself. And doing my due diligence when we do this, this shit. There were so many times where I went, that's either he is really forgetful or he's just fucking gaslighting the nation, or it's just a blatant lie. Like just a straight up lie. And there were many instances that happened.
Well, that's the thing. Like with the analysis people, the analysts,
Rachel Maddow being one.
They literally said, these are all just, so Trump was throwing out blatant lies. Like,
talk about
that's literally bury your face in the sand.
Well, pandering to your audience.
And then stick a thumb up your ass and say, why is somebody tickling my ear?
That's pandering to your audience, but moreover, that's projection. Case in point, Rachel Maddow, she said, all right, when this started, this isn't how this debate, I think, for Democrats wanted to go, because Biden started off really kind of weak, slow or whatever, and Trump was strong. But as it went on toward the end, Trump was really weak in his speech and incoherent and kind of not cognitively, in cognitive decline. And I listened to her. I'm like, did you watch the same debate I did? Like, I don't.
Or did you like mirror the screen so that they were on opposite sides?
Yeah, and she goes, and toward the end of it, Trump was really strong. I'm like, no, lady, no, no, he was not. He was pretty much the same. You know, his stats are 1 across the board through 99 the entire time. It was rough. There was, but again, like you said, and what, Harry Sisson, it's another one.
Yeah.
He was magical in everything he was posting. At the end of it, he's like, Biden clearly won that.
Oh, God.
Trump is this and that, blah, 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 you know. And then he made a post right after. I'm like, I have to see, because I hear about Harry Sisson all the time.
Yeah.
And he's got one of those, like, his face looks like the Joker without makeup, that he just needs to get fucking punched in the nose. Like, he's just, I don't know.
Do not wish violence on anybody.
No.
It's a figurative speech.
Yes. Punched with reality. Wonder if I can get boxing gloves. Anyway. So, so Harry, he put out a post right after. He's like, okay, so the debate is done, and we didn't learn anything new. He said, yeah, he goes, we learned nothing new. And he says, it doesn't matter what they say on stage. It matters what they do as president. I'm like, oh, come on, Harry. I was like, he says, Biden clearly won. And that's when, here's the thing, this is when him and a lot of other Democrats, a lot of other influencers started switching their riding with Biden logo and started saying vote blue no matter who. Like, I think everyone's gearing up to drop Biden. The New York Times today, this morning, put out an article saying if Biden wants to help the United States, he needs to step down.
Oh, God.
Like, the Times, which is...
Stop riding Biden and start hump with Trump.
Well, like, New York Times, they're saying, Biden, you got to step down. Like, I think now...
Trump hump.
Now, everyone's seeing Biden's not there. Like, now, the whole world is saying what all of us that pay attention or have seen for a long time now. It's like, this is what we're fucking talking about.
I got a better one.
Not.
Riding with Biden, bump with Trump. Hey, give me a bump. Oh, wait, wrong bump, sorry.
Okay. So, with some... Actually, wait a minute.
I really want to do cocaine with President Trump.
You imagine? No, actually, you know what? I'd rather Biden.
In my opinion, you'd rather do it with Biden?
Yeah, because I just watching him
speed up,
wander around.
No, it's like watching a video in slow-mo and then slowly increasing the play speed. So, this is like getting really all of a sudden. Let's do something.
It's like, I don't even know where that music's coming from, but wait a minute, I'm gonna show you this before.
Yeah. Sorry.
Maybe. Maybe not. My phone knows I'm trying to bring something up, so now it's just not going to let me do it. Oh, there we go. Here it is.
And that is the first presidential debate of the 2024 election cycle at a very unusual time with very unusual format. And I think with probably strange results. I mean, we'll see the response from both sides. But if you're the Biden campaign, I think you wish that this night will be remembered in reverse as the president became sort of stronger, including literally his voice, the strength of his voice over the course of the night, probably peaking towards the very, very end of the debate.
Probably because everyone tuned out.
I think it's fair to say it was the inverse. President Trump, just in terms of his coherence and finishing a sentence and seeming to be in control of his own emotions, started off as strong as he was. The strongest point for him was at the very beginning of the debate, and then it over the course of the night, he became less coherent and more visibly flustered. I don't think either of these campaigns, either of these candidates is going to feel like this was a shining moment for them. But I think that first initial impression, Nicole, of President Biden walking out and his voice being very hard to hear. It's hard to tell what he was saying because his voice was so weak, and his halting delivery in his first couple of answers has got to have put a shock into the campaign, at least at the start before he started against Trump.
Yeah.
Like, the delusion is fucking real. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? What debate did you watch?
That's like, she was basically Aquaman in that episode of Family Guy where, like, the girl's getting assaulted on the beach. Mm-hmm. Aquaman stands up in the water. Hey, you shouldn't do that. Throws starfish. Yeah, if you don't like starfish, you're in trouble. It's like, And she goes, help, he's hurting me. Well, maybe you shouldn't have let him on. That's the delusion right there. Something's going on over there, but I'm not going to do anything about it. Well, it's your fault.
But, yeah. But that wasn't, like I said, Harry Sisson, MSNBC, a lot of them. And it was just like, what did you watch? Because what I watched, and like I said, I watched it twice. Once as entertainment, because I knew the first time through I was just going to miss everything because I was just going to be like, this is fucking crazy. And it was crazy in the way I thought it was and the way I didn't think it was going to be crazy.
Yeah.
So it was just fucking hilarious. And then going back and going through it and being like, well, wait a minute. So one thing that Biden said was, when they were talking about inflation, he said when he took over office, the country was in just an economic free fall. And he said inflation was already high once Trump left office and he took over. He said it was at 9%. Said it was due to no jobs because of COVID. Here's the thing. Two things in that statement. First one was the inflation number. He said it was at 9%. Looked it up. January 2021, 1.41%.
Yeah.
And then he said because there was no jobs, right? Okay. There were no jobs because there were state-mandated lockdowns. What's that mean? It has nothing to do with federal government, which is Trump. Trump, at that point, now Biden, federal government does not do anything with the state. The state says yay or nay. Case in point, Florida was the first state during the pandemic that went, we're not locking down. And even the government was like, well, we'd really prefer you to. They couldn't go in and do anything about it.
Yeah.
I mean, even though like the left wanted them to, they couldn't. Florida said, we're not doing it. It was all state mandated. Trump and Biden, more specifically, during his first term was, we want you to do these mandates, vaccine mandates. We want you to do all this stuff. We strongly advise it. And a lot of states did it because in the beginning, no one fucking knew. But then Florida's like, this is stupid. This isn't working. And it was killing their economy and they knew it.
Yeah.
So you can't blame Trump for state lockdowns because that has nothing to do with federal government. Another one that was fucking wild was his claim that Biden had never lost any military life in any foreign conflict during his presidency. Everybody across the board went, Afghanistan, the withdrawal, the 13 troops there.
They got 33 and 30.
How about the three?
One or two. It was two or three. They gun.
Oh, yeah,
They all saw their foreheads.
Like all of them. Yeah. Afghanistan with the withdrawal, with the 13 troops there.
Yep.
And there was 3 of them in January. 3 in January. So either he forgot or he was just straight up outright lying.
What is it?
And either one is not great, and who knows which one is worse, but but like the biggest one I think was, I think everyone, as soon as he said that even half been paying attention, is like, what the fuck about Afghanistan? Like, did that not happen?
Yeah.
Is that... And then the Roe v. Wade subject, which is a Democratic stronghold. Like, Roe v. Wade, we've talked about it before. Like, they're never going to codify. If they codify, I'd be shocked. I don't think they ever will, because that is a wedge topic. That is a wedge issue. That is the one thing. It's like, listen, we always can pull this card, That'll get people voting. That'll get the female vote. So they bring up that, and
quick before you don't seem to realize. Majority seem to know, especially these people who are diehard, my body, my choice.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of states before Roe v. Wade had way more lenient laws. Roe v. Wade actually restricted some states to doing only a certain thing.
some.
So, but what I'm getting at is, like,
Oh, I'm agreeing with you.
never did anybody ever say you'll be arrested. Well, no. There were talks about criminal, possible criminal, what's the word I'm thinking of? There may have been some criminal repercussions. There was talks about there being ramifications for people going out of state to seek
Right.
abortions and stuff like that.
Right.
But I think that was a gaslight issue. People were bringing that up, trying to swing the vote back to the whole, well, the Republicans did wrong by doing the overturning Roe v. Wade. Never once was anyone arrested that I heard of.
No, and like I said before, I go, that's a net positive, though. Like the overturning of Roe v. Wade, I'm like, that's a net positive.
Yes, because a lot of states, before Roe v. Wade, a lot of states, I hate to say it, I don't agree with it, but your body, your choice. That's what I say.
Yeah.
I'm pro-choice. Always have been. Always will be.
All right, go ahead.
If you want to go have an 8-month term abortion, there were states that allowed it. Roe v. Wade, late term abortions are what they were called.
No, not so much Roe v. Wade. They wouldn't do that. Not during Roe v. Wade. It was after the fact, because they just did a case with this. After Roe v. Wade was dropped, that would allow it.
Yes.
Okay, that's what
That's
you're
what I'm
saying?
getting at. Sorry.
Okay.
So before Roe v. Wade came into play,
Yeah.
you could go, there were states that allowed
Oh, before, okay.
late term abortions.
Right.
Or alternative abortion methods. Whatever you want to call it. Whatever. Roe v. Wade came in and it limited everybody to a window. So now you've got states where it's like, do whatever you want. States, we'd rather you not do anything. That literally now everybody across the board, you have to be able to at least do this. And it took literally, like, it took a 4-lane highway and narrowed it down to 2. 2 lanes, that's it. So now you bottleneck that traffic.
Right.
And when they overturned Roe v. Wade, it opened up those other 2 lanes again. You've got more states who didn't want anything saying, okay, we're going back to the no abortions. And then you got other states that are saying, hey, your body, your choice. Do what you want, when you want, however you want. And never did I hear of anyone ever being prosecuted or charged criminally for seeking medical care outside of their state.
Yeah, after when Roe v. Wade was dropped, they were allowed. Virginia, the ex-governor of Virginia, whatever it was, he's on video saying that they can do up to 9 months and then post-delivery abortions. That's where he's on video saying about we can make a decision after the baby's delivered. What do you want to do with it? Like, yeah, like there's some states that can do that, and Trump actually brought that up during it. That was one of his arguments against it. But again, going back to abortion as a whole, that's a Democratic stronghold.
Oh yeah,
right. So you figured, I think Jon Stewart, I think this is probably what you're talking about. That's a softball issue. You can't screw this one up, Joe. Or can you? Because he fucking did. Big time. So they go to talk about Roe v. Wade, and then he starts blabbering on. This is one of the parts where Joe is just all over the place. And then it turns into talking about the woman and his daughter that got murdered from the fucking illegal immigrant.
And he went to the family's, the funeral.
Yeah, he went to the funeral, and then he just, suddenly it's and then you can get raped by in-laws. I'm like, even like I'm listening to it and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, this has nothing to do with Roe v. Wade. Like, what are you talking about? I think that's the part where Trump goes, I don't know what he said, the last part of that, because no one does.
No.
Maybe not. I don't know.
That's when Trump rebutted with,
I think I know at one point
he made a remark. He goes, yes, these people were, these crimes happened by people you allowed in.
Yeah, that's right. Because and that's when the moderator's like, we'll get to immigration later, but yeah, that is, which is fucking true. But again, it had nothing to do with Roe v. Wade. And he said that where they're going to bring back Roe, which they might bring back Roe. I don't see it happening because, again, that's a wedge issue. They definitely won't codify it, I can tell you that, because as soon as they codify it, well, fuck, now we've solved that. Now what?
Yeah, what's the next issue?
Yeah, now we don't have anything to hold people. It's like they've had, 50 fucking 1 years to codify it. Still waiting. How many times have they
codified it? Now we gotta solve fucking the homeless problem in America. Jesus.
All you gotta do is ask Gavin Newsom for that. He cleaned up the streets real quick and fucking Xi Jinping came over. We won't talk about that, though.
Where did they relocate them to?
Yes. The border.
Allegedly?
So when they were talking about the border, Biden said that during his whole spiel, at one point, he goes, he said the Border Patrol endorsed him. Right? Immediately.
Don't let me forget Grandma's Boy reference.
Fucking immediately. The Border Patrol Union posted on X, just to be clear, we have never, nor will ever, endorse Joe Biden. I'm like, wow. Talk about it's like the Border Patrol's like, what the fuck? Absolutely not.
Real quick.
Don't bring me into this shit.
I saw a TikTok the other day about Joe Biden allegedly shitting his pants.
Mm-hmm.
It shows Biden kind of shuffling, and they superimpose them onto a sidewalk, walking up towards a porch, where there's these people who are video game testers, and these club patrons coming in from an aggressive woodland creature with big buck teeth and a flat tail.
Mm-hmm.
It shows Joe kind of shuffling. And one of the people on the porch goes, what's this one called? He goes, it's called the Brown Bomber. Why do you call it that? Because when you get so high after you smoke, you get so high you shit your pants. And then it shows Joe like... You know what movie I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
I saw that TikTok the other day. I was like, oh, and it just so happened I looked down. I went to like hit the send button, and something happened, and my fucking refresh. Like, it's not even my watch history now. I'm like, you fucking suck.
Yeah, probably deleted. Well, we got to control this. So at one point during the debate, Biden brought up the whole accusation where Trump said there were really fine people on both for white supremacists and neo-Nazis. You know, there are fine people on both sides in reference to that, right? Snopes 7 years ago fact-checked and said that was accurate. Well, a week ago, Snopes went back and fact-checked themselves and said, actually, no, that never actually did happen. So this was just a week ago. Well, Biden brought it up, and then Trump started to get a little heated. He's like, that never happened. And, like I said, Snopes just fucking recently went, no, that never did happen.
Yeah.
And then Biden's like, it did happen. Just ask anybody, or whatever the fuck he said. I'm like, but it didn't, Joe. At all. Like, this is just made up shit. So this is more made up. This is more made. He brought that up, too.
Yeah, I know.
He's like, and you had sex with some slut or whatever in a public place.
What's up with the porn star? No, he was talking about Trump having convictions and having more. You know, this is the guy
he's got 34 convictions.
Who sexually assaulted a woman in public and slept with a porn star. And Trump, I didn't sleep with a porn star.
Yes, I didn't sleep with a porn star. But that was actually one jab that Biden took. You can tell Biden started to get flustered. He took it. He goes, whatever the topic was, Joe looks at him and goes, he goes, yeah, but this is coming from someone who's got 34 felony counts. And even Trump was like, okay.
In works the in floats the shades in the joint.
Yeah. So
I love it too. That was one jab I actually did kind of enjoy. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't appropriate for either of them to jab at each other like that, but was it an enjoyable back and forth? Oh yeah, Biden.
It was.
Talking about I was 34 convictions because your son's been convicted many a times and will be more.
Yeah.
In fact, you'll be convicted.
What? In fairness, though, Trump did say something like, hold on. During it, Trump said that Biden called blacks super predators, which that never happened. Hillary Clinton called blacks super predators.
Okay.
What did happen, though, was...
Didn't Joe do a whole speech about, at one point, way back, about interracial communities?
Well, that was Trump. As far as super predators, that was Biden. But what Biden did say, or that was Hillary, what Biden did say was that he didn't want his kids growing up in a racial jungle. Oh, and he said he did refer to them as predators on the street at one point, too. It might have been there in the 92, 91, 92, somewhere like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Way to go, Joe.
So, that was the debate. Oh yeah, the White House. Well, yeah, the White House was stopping journalists from being able to go inside the debate too.
Yeah,
they had to stay in like a building across the street from it because they had a fear for a possible medical emergency.
Whose medical emergency?
It was just in case. Like, this was before the debate started. They said, just in case of a medical emergency. And after watching it, I'm like, well, this is a fucking slaughter. Where were they? No one came in and fucking revived Joe because he was dead on sight, man.
He was DOA.
It was rough.
Dead on scene.
You know what was wild, too? He looked terrified during part of it. Like, he had no notes, no one to back him up. He was just out there, like, on his own.
Well, he had some papers, but...
He can't read.
It's pictures. It says, it showed the one picture was a person sitting on a toilet with a green check mark.
You know,
the next picture was a person standing and poo coming out of their butt and an X on the picture.
I should say he can read, and that's probably what the problem was, because every time he reads something off cue card or off the teleprompter, he always reads everything verbatim. 4 more years. Pause. You know. Well, they gave him notes. Like, here, take this so you can take notes on what, Trump says. So he goes out there, and of course, 10 minutes in, he doesn't know what the fuck this is in front of him. So he's looking for words to read. So he's going through like, what do I read? And then what do we get? He says a bunch of shit that's just factually not accurate at all. And like I said, maybe he forgot, or maybe he's just blatantly lying to the whole nation.
It can't be both.
Either way, it's not
There's
good.
no gray area.
No, it's not. It's either bad or bad.
Or bad or worse.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know which is worse.
Completely forgetting is bad. That's not a fit president.
He's in control of nuclear weapons.
Exactly. Blatantly lying is even worse.
Yeah, I don't... He's in control of nuclear weapons. I don't know, but yeah. Just as little side things, though. You hear anything about this Dr. Disrespect?
Dr. Disrespect, yeah.
The whole controversy with him, I guess, underage... Whatever.
So, from what I've read and what I've seen,
I figured I'd bring it up just because we're both gamers, but like you pay more attention to like the game news. Like this just happened to come across my feed, and like
yeah. So, apparently, there was some allegations of Dr. Disrespect,
like 4 years ago or something.
Yeah, grooming, not grooming.
No, just texting a minor.
Yeah, well, some inappropriate things.
Right.
There was some inappropriate texting going back and forth between him and a minor, allegedly.
17-year-old.
17-year-old.
At that time.
So depending on the state you're in, 17 is age of consent. There are states where it's younger. Shocking.
Alabama's like 10 or 11.
I don't know.
Actually,
you know what? Really quick, I just want to fact check something. What state has the youngest age of consent?
Well, you're putting red flags on your phone.
Probably.
Right after you go to Realtor.com.
Okay, so the youngest is 16.
Right.
And wow, there's a lot of fucking blue. So it's blue, brown, blue, olive, and lime green. Lime green is the minimum age is 18.
Okay.
Olive is minimum age is 17. Blue, you couldn't have chosen a better color, .gov, because the .gov website I'm on.
What states are it?
I'll read them off in a minute. Blue, minimum age is 16. Right. So, fuck. Hold on. Oh no.
What?
That one was wrong. That's a .org. Sorry. This one's another .org. This is weird. By age, Ohio, 13. By authority, 16. So at 13 years old, a parent can give their child the okay to consensual relations.
What a wild fucking...
16, they make the decision on themselves. That's what that means.
Isn't that like pimping your kid out? Or I think that's called child trafficking. That's kind of wild.
So, okay, regardless of which, a lot of the country is blue. So, okay, so...
Whoa.
17 by authority,
right?
Not by state, not by age, by authority. That means government. By age is by state.
Right.
So by authority, the youngest age of consent is 16.
Mm-hmm.
This girl was 17. On top of that, it was all alleged because Dr. Disrespect and a multitude, not so much a multitude, enough of the right people said nothing bad happened.
That's what I heard.
This has been resolved.
Right.
No harm was done. Drop it. So, allegedly, he was inappropriately texting a minor, or a girl of the age of 17.
I get, yeah.
And he got fucking locked down for it. I mean, not locked down, shut down.
Twitch
banned him for life. He's never allowed to be back on Twitch, even though everything was resolved. No criminal charges were put, because here's one of the things. People are going there like, well, he never actually denied it, and all he keeps doing is giving roundabout answers. Like, no harm was done, everything's been resolved, drop the issue.
Right.
Why don't you just come right out and say you didn't do it? Enough of that led him to drop the statement. Look, no criminal activity was taking place. Nothing illegal happened. No one was hurt. No one was harmed. Everything has been resolved. The issue is done.
That's from what I gather. Like what I heard about the whole thing was that he was texting a minor, a 17-year-old, and this was like back in 2020, and it was something to do with professional something or other that leaned in the direction of inappropriate at times. Yeah. But like you said, nothing was actually, like, there was nothing criminal that had happened. So it was more of a image kind of thing.
It was like grab her by the pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not the best things to have said. Nothing illegal about saying it, but definitely fucking puts you in a bad light.
Right. So then then the whole thing happened, and now I guess he's going to retire or something like that.
Yeah.
Or he said maybe he'll be back. I don't know much about the guy. Like, I've just heard about him in the last year.
He was one of those Twitch streamers that was very about the gamer.
Right.
Like, he helped people.
Like, I don't...
Like, he promoted, like, people into, like, Twitch and YouTube and other platforms that way you could broadcast and get... Like, he was very, like, hey, man... Let's get you there. Come on, I got you.
Like him and like Nick Merckx and all. Didn't they have their skins or something in Warzone or Call of Duty or some shit like that?
And now Dr. Disrespect has been pulled.
Yeah.
Just like Vince McMahon is blurred.
Yeah.
Dr. Disrespect has been pulled.
Which I saw that. That's really where he came into my. I was like, is that a fucking wig? It looks like a wig, a fake mustache.
It's all real.
It's weird. It looks like too shiny to be real, but. Either way, isn't he like 6'50" or something like that? He's tall.
Yeah, he's a taller dude.
Like 6'3",
he's
6'4".
a beanpole. You remember what was the kid's name? Justin? From Keymark?
Yeah.
Yeah, except probably a foot taller.
Yeah. So I did see that, and honestly, my first reaction when I heard about the whole thing was like, another fucking game streamer is caught up in underage texting. Because what, Louis or whoever the fuck got stuck, Terrorizer, or one of those fucking guys got stuck with
Mini Lad.
There's been, I know the whole thing's been like solved, but like it's always, here's my theory on the whole thing. Okay, so most of these gamers, like they game a lot all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Okay,
their
and they start off when they're 13, 14. So they're doing all this shit and talking to all these people of that age group, because it's primarily what that age group is that watches all these. So of course they're gonna get like all hung up. What, like, the doctor, isn't he like 40 years old or some shit?
He's in his 30s, I believe.
I'm pretty sure he's older, but like you're kind of putting yourself in that situation to where all these kids are going to look up to you, and it's like,
there's fucked up kids. I'm sorry, but there's fucked up kids out there.
That's what I'm trying to say. Is like you're putting yourself in this situation. Like you're in. It's like if I did fucking toy reviews all the time. There's fucked up people out there, and like you are in that world, like their world.
Yeah.
So you're putting yourself out there. So this has happened how many times with different gaming streamers and shit like that?
Well, so with the Vanoss crew, Mini Lad was the one that they found out, and it was validated, was grooming.
Right.
Louis, it wasn't inappropriate behavior with a minor. It was alleged domestic violence with a significant other, which was completely bullshit. H2O Delirious was a setup.
Oh, he had shit against him too?
Oh yeah, him and Katz, what's her name? His wife. They ended. Maybe they weren't. I don't know. So Delirious, and I give nothing but props for the friend group staying the way they did. They've worked through it, and they're kind of like almost back to where they were, even after Mini Lad left. Well, got kicked out really. Mm-hmm. H2O was talking in banter with what he was informed was a person, not a minor.
Right.
He was informed that this girl was over 18, she was an adult, etc., etc. Some people within the group had set it up. Yes.
See, that's a group you don't. That's.
And it. This is why, like, I fucking. There's a reason why
gamers are fucking shitheads.
This is why. Around. Well, no. This is why
What a horrible community.
This is why Evan Vanoss will always be my favorite out of the whole group, because Evan literally said, like, he found out, and he's like, "Look, we don't fucking need that. You're gone. When you want to fucking own up to it and be an adult, then maybe we'll talk."
Not the one who set him up.
Yeah, it was. There was a couple people within the group. I don't remember how it started. Basically, and I think it was
really. Well, I shouldn't be surprised. Basically, it's a fucking loon anyway.
Basically, and I think it was.
Why the fuck?
407.
Really?
It was or Omega. No, who was it? It wasn't.
Jiggly Panda?
No, God, no, not Jiggly.
He's disappeared off the face of the earth.
No, he still plays with them.
Oh, yeah?
On occasion, yeah.
I don't know.
Wildcat is still...
like 10 years.
It wasn't Wildcat. It's someone who's no longer in the group whatsoever. Ohm Wrecker.
Ohm. Oh.
Yeah, I believe it was Ohm and Basically.
Yeah, basically, it doesn't surprise me.
And
from what I remember of him, he was a fucking lunatic anyway. He's like super rager
and the thing is, like, I don't even remember what sparked it. But there was some playful banter back and forth. And then it was, oh, look what Delirious did. And Delirious is like, whoa, what are you talking about? She's this. No, she was this old, dude. You were sexting a minor.
Do you think it was done just like, oh, let's play this joke on him?
I don't know.
Like, or do you think it was, like, malicious?
I think it was kind of a hybrid. Because sad but true, the whole group independently has their success levels.
Right.
But when it comes down to it,
with our powers combined,
there's three of them that...
Nogla.
No, I love Nogla. Love Nogla. Love Terrorizer. But even Terrorizer, like, I mean this in the nicest way possible. You know how Louis left for a while. Obviously, we were just talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
A joke was made. I fact-checked it, and it was actually true. Louis left for like 3 years, and even the 3 years off, he still had more subscribers than Terrorizer.
It's pretty good.
But there's three. There's three of the group that, even without the whole group, are successful enough on their own.
Right.
Delirious, Louis, and Vanos. Delirious has gone other people up there and then let them branch off and do their own thing because he's always kind of...
Yeah, like Terrorizer was like with the first one. No, not Terrorizer. Cartoons.
Cartoons, yeah.
He was the first. When Cartoons came in, I was kind of like on the way out. Like I was just... Because they started adding a shit ton of people. Like, who the fuck are all these new people? Like, I don't care about all of it. And I was like, I just saw the way it was going. I was like, I don't want to...
Hey, your license is expired. You can't drive anymore.
Oh.
So, yeah. Those three are... without being together in the group, I think those three have always been the most successful. And then them three just playing together has always bolstered each other up. They've brought people in, boosted them up. And now there's that knit. Now there's that tight group.
Right.
Basically, Ohm Wrecker's gone. But basically is back in with the group.
Is he?
Because Evan straight up...
Yeah,
Evan,
that's got to be weird with
well, Delirious and Basically have played together since. They have. But I think there's always a little hesitancy.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to tarnish something somewhere.
Yeah.
But,
because throughout it all, sad but true, I found out, Evan had always stayed in contact with Louis. They always played together, but never publicly.
Right.
Delirious, same thing. And Vanos straight up, as soon as it dropped, he found out what was going on, basically disappeared for a little while out of the group.
Yeah.
And at this point, Ohm had already done damage to the group because he just got spiteful.
Do they play on GTA 5 still?
They play everything still.
But specifically, are they still on GTA 5?
Gmod, GTA 5.
Gmod, I understand, but GTA 5 just won't fucking die.
No, and
it won't go away.
When 6 comes out, they'll jump on that bandwagon too. And their videos are funny though.
This has nothing to do with them. This is more GTA 5. It's like, this fucking game has been out for 11 fucking years.
Yeah.
This game has had the same lifespan.
It's the Biden of the gaming world.
Yeah. This game's lifespan.
Shit.
This game's lifespan is longer than fucking consoles.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Will it just go away? But yeah, I mean, going back to Dr. Disrespect. Yeah, so I heard all that and I'm like, oh geez, look at this. Another gamer fucking streamer bullshit. Unrelated. What happened to J-Lo?
Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah. Have you seen... There's been some videos that pop up in my feed of J-Lo performing at arenas of 1,000 people. Like, empty arenas. For real. I'm like, what the fuck happened there?
Well, I know...
Like, she was, like, singing whatever new song, and she put the microphone to the person, and they're dancing, have no fucking idea what the words are. And then she's like, yeah. And like, boy, is this real? Because if this is real, like, wow, what a fucking, like,
I don't know if anything happened, but the only thing I can guess, I don't know. I think she just got a little too big for herself.
Maybe. Oh, actually, now that I bring that up, I did hear something where evidently the original singer for a lot of her songs, including Jenny from the Block, because someone else sang those songs and she was lip syncing them, like live or whatever.
Yeah.
But she wasn't on the album, which I guess is a common practice, or maybe was a common practice for pop stars. But now this woman's come out and be like, no, these are my songs. Like, I'm the one that sang these.
I do know what happened.
Okay.
It triggered. So she, I want to say within the last year or two, she started like trying to push this image of Jenny from the Block.
Mm-hmm. Again?
Yeah. And she started like kind of pushing it, like, you know, when you grew up in the hood, like I did, kind of shit.
Yeah, see. There's like fucking no one there. Like, I saw it, I'm like, is this real? Like, what the fuck?
So she started pushing the image again.
Right.
And some people were like, hey, look, no offense or nothing. Be real.
You are not from the block anymore.
No,
you
she
might
never was.
own the block.
She never was.
Oh, she might have she drove by it once as a
Apparently,
kid.
one of her...
My uncle drove by it once. I'm from the block,
one of the
too.
stories she told, I guess, as like, it was her story. She goes, one of her... Because she went to like a private academy. Oh, yeah. Apparently, she went to private schools.
Oh, she's full of shit like AOC then.
One of her schoolmates who, up until this point, were still friends. Like, hey, look, you know, no offense or nothing, but your story's bullshit. You never did this. You never lived here. You never suffered. Like, look, you are famous because you have talent. Don't try to gloat. Don't try to, not gloat. Don't try to embellish on it with falsities.
Yeah.
And I guess there was backlash. Like, J-Lo got involved. Like, yeah, how dare you, blah, 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 blah.
Well,
and now she's suffering.
95% of tickets weren't sold. Like, ooh. Yeah, so, but again, like, evidently that, but like I said, the other woman who was singing her songs that are coming out and be like, no, actually, that was me. Ugh, J-Lo. What happened to you, Jenny?
Time to start on a porno. That's the only way you're going to save yourself.
Well, I mean, now there's OnlyFans, and that's how most women are making their money now.
Yeah, but...
I'm going to start an OnlyFans page, and it's just going to be my feet.
No, go to Feet Finders. You'll make more money.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And there'll be someone out there to subscribe to it.
Oh, yeah.
Guarantee you. Because you fucking people are weird. Not you fans.
You're not weird.
But the other you people. Fuck you.
You're not weird.
Unless you give
you
us...
just have unusual interests.
I guess so. Jeez. Whatever.
Shitty titties.
Bye.